Today, let's talk about how these contest giveaways work and how we are doing things like ensuring fairness with the giveaways. I'm going to walk through each of the technical pieces that goes into the giveaways, and then you're going to see an example live and how you can validate even some of the results yourself. So the way the giveaways are going to work is you must be an active subscribed member of the email newsletter list over on Substack. And you've seen these subscription boxes, for example, on the Warrior Nun website, the SaveWarriorNun.net website, you name it. The contest giveaways are done by taking a snapshot of the list of people who are subscribed to the list at the time of the drawing. So if you sign up and you unsubscribe, then you're no longer on the list because this would be the list of subscribers. You can see there's about a 3-hour lag here. It says the data was updated 3 hours ago. Ideally, you want to be subscribed the day before the drawing, just to make sure you're on there. And what we do is we hit the export button here. We dump the entire list out as a data file. So there's 1,320 email subscribers here. Now, for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to be using a fake email list. We don't want to give away people's personal information, certainly not on the air. So what I've done is I've used a piece of software in the R programming language that creates a bunch of very clearly, obviously fake email addresses. Now these follow the syntax of this, but this is what we're going to be using as our sample file. In the R programming language, we have this thing called a contest drawing script. And the way it works is it loads that file that we just created, then it does a random seed, which is a random number generation, and then it pulls out all of the email lists and encodes them in what is called an MD5 hash. This MD5 hash is a way of encrypting information in one direction. If you have an email, you can generate an MD5 hash. If you have a hash, you can't really decrypt the email, right? There are some brute force ways that if you have like massive supercomputers, you could do, but for most people don't have access to those resources. So let's actually step through this. We're going to load the files. And you can see here I've got 1,300 observations on this list. I have taken each of the fake emails and generated an MD5 hash from them. So that we now have that hash table. And now we're going to create what's called the lookup table. So we're going to record everybody who was enrolled at the time of the drawing. Right? And so we have the exact same list that we just had. This was a way to validate this is the list that was used at the time of drawing. And then we're going to select a winner. And we're going to select the hash column. And we're going to, in this case, select 3 winners. We could select 1 winner, 3 winners, 5 winners. It depends on how many giveaways. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to take that sample. And that sample there is the winners. So here we have 3 different hashes. Now, on the back end, what we're going to do is we are going to bond that winning list, because this winning list here, we can show this on the air, on a live stream, and we will. And that way everyone can see that winners have been chosen. And if you wanted to, you could go to a website like MD5 hash generator, put your own email in, and you could look at the MD5 hash and compare it to the winning entries that were put on here and say, okay, was my hash file match 1 of 3 winners? You would know immediately if you won or not. But what we'll do then is we're going to take that winning list and we're going to bind it back to the email address so that we know who won those things, right? So here's the winners list. And you can see this one ends in A98, this one ends in 82C, and then there's A98, the 82C, and the associated emails. This part will not be shown on the air because obviously we don't want to be giving away people's private information in a very public format. And this is how we will notify the winners. Now, if we have a situation where somebody doesn't respond, then we simply redo this whole process again. You'll note I'm going to rerun all this code. And this time through, so here was, let me pull this up here. This is the winners the last time. Remember, A98, 82C, and so on and so forth. Every time we run this code, because of the randomized nature, it will come up with new winners. So this time through, we have these new winners, right? And the different hash codes, and these are also written down as text files. So for a case where somebody simply doesn't respond, we can draw new winners and either do it on the air or not, and then send those people the information that, hey, you've won this thing, and so on and so forth. Again, totally randomized. We've had folks in the SaveWarriorNone.net Discord validate that this code is fair and that it works as intended. It draws random results and things. And then we have the mechanisms for reaching out to the winners to let them know that they've won something. So that's a look behind the scenes at how this works so that you and everybody who is participating in these contests know the drawings are fair. There's nothing in the code that is giving weight or preference to any one individual or any group of people. It is simply, if you are on the Substack list at the time, this is how we'll choose the winners. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.